Ocean party, lights flash, music booms. Now imagine one person walking out of that nightclub and completely vanishing. No body, no witness, no explanation. His friends assumed he simply returned to his cabin to sleep. But when morning came, his bed had never been touched. Some believe he accidentally fell overboard. Others believe something far darker happened, somewhere deep inside the ship. Cases like this have become part of a disturbing pattern known as unsolved cruise ship mysteries. Every year, missing passengers on cruise ships spark questions about what really happens once a vessel sails into open water. Many travelers believe modern cruise ship security makes these disappearances nearly impossible, but history has proven otherwise. One of the most famous examples is the Amy Bradley case, where a young woman vanished from a cruise ship in 1998 and was never found. Just 1 year later, another missing person case would shock cruise passengers again. A 30-year-old man named James Christopher Scavone would become part of another chilling cruise ship disappearance story. He walked out of a nightclub late one night and disappeared overnight on cruise ship without leaving a single trace. In 1999, James Christopher Scavone boarded a cruise ship expecting nothing more than a relaxing vacation with friends. James was known as an outgoing and energetic person who loved traveling and experiencing new places. At 30 years old, he was enjoying life and looking forward to several days of fun on the open sea. Cruise vacations were booming during the late 1990s. Massive floating resorts offered restaurants, casinos, pools, theaters, and nightclubs. Passengers could spend days relaxing in the sun and nights dancing under flashing lights. For James and his friends, the trip seemed perfect. During the day, they explored the ship, ate at different restaurants, and enjoyed the endless ocean views. But at night, the energy shifted. The ship's nightclub became one of the most exciting places on board. Music echoed through the decks as crowds of passengers danced until early morning. On the night James disappeared, he and his friends headed to the nightclub just like many other guests. Witnesses later said the group appeared happy and relaxed. They were laughing, talking, and enjoying the music. Nothing seemed unusual or concerning. To everyone around them, it looked like just another normal cruise vacation night. But sometime during those late hours, James stepped away from the group and left the nightclub. His friends assumed he was simply heading back to the cabin to sleep. It was common for passengers to leave early if they were tired or ready to call it a night. At the time, no one thought anything was wrong, but the next morning would reveal something disturbing. James Christopher Scavone had become one of the many missing passengers connected to mysterious incidents at sea. The next morning, James's friends woke up expecting to see him in their cabin, but something immediately felt strange. His bed looked untouched. At first, they assumed he might have slept somewhere else on the ship or stayed out later than everyone else. Cruise ships are enormous, and people often lose track of each other during late-night events. But as the morning passed, the situation became more concerning. No one had seen James since the moment he walked out of the nightclub. His friends began searching the ship. They checked restaurants, pool decks, lounges, and common areas. They asked other passengers and crew members if anyone had seen him. No one had. Eventually, they reported the situation to ship officials. What began as a simple search quickly turned into a serious investigation involving cruise ship security teams. Security officers started reviewing surveillance cameras and questioning passengers. But there was a major problem. There was no clear record of where James went after leaving the nightclub. No footage showing him returning to his cabin. No witnesses who saw him outside on deck. No evidence explaining what happened during those final moments. It was as if he simply disappeared somewhere inside the ship. This strange situation soon turned into a full missing person case, leaving investigators trying to determine whether James had suffered an accident or something far more sinister. When someone goes missing on a cruise ship, investigators usually consider one of the most common explanations first: falling overboard. But modern ships are designed with tall safety railings and protective barriers meant to prevent accidents. For someone to fall into the ocean, they usually must climb, lean dangerously far, or be pushed. That's why many cruise ship disappearance investigations raise complicated questions. In James's case, investigators looked at whether alcohol could have played a role. He had been in a nightclub environment where drinks were widely available. If he had been intoxicated, it might have affected his balance or decision-making. However, another problem remained. If someone falls into the ocean, it often happens on an open deck where other passengers might notice. Yet no one reported hearing a splash or seeing a person fall into the water that night. No alarms were triggered, no crew members reported unusual activity. The lack of evidence only deepened the mystery. Some investigators wondered whether James may have encountered someone after leaving the nightclub. Cruise ships carry thousands of passengers and crew members, and not everyone on board knows each other. Behind the entertainment areas, ships also contain service hallways, storage areas, and maintenance corridors that most passengers never see. If something happened in one of those places, it might have gone completely unnoticed. James's case soon joined a troubling category of missing passengers on cruise ships that remain unsolved years later. Experts studying unsolved cruise ship mysteries have pointed out that investigating incidents at sea can be extremely difficult. Ships travel across international waters, and jurisdiction between different countries can become complicated. Evidence may be lost before authorities even have the chance to begin a full investigation. By the time the crews reached port and officials could properly investigate, precious time had already passed. Without witnesses, physical evidence, or clear surveillance footage, the search for answers stalled. And once someone goes lost at sea, the chances of finding them decrease dramatically. In the end, investigators could not determine exactly what happened to James Christopher Scavone. His body was never recovered. No suspect was identified, and no evidence revealed what happened after he left the nightclub that night. For his family and friends, the uncertainty has been heartbreaking. Not knowing the truth can be even more painful than knowing what happened. Did James suffer a tragic accident and fall overboard? Did he wander into an area of the ship where something went terribly wrong? Or did he encounter someone who caused his disappearance? These questions remain unanswered more than 2 decades later. His story is now part of a growing list of unsolved cruise ship mysteries that continue to puzzle investigators and true crime researchers. Many people who study these incidents have even turned them into detailed investigations and cruise disappearance documentary projects, hoping new evidence might finally bring answers. Cases like the Amy Bradley case and the disappearance of James Scavone remind travelers that the ocean can hide secrets for years. Even with modern surveillance systems and improved cruise ship security, mysterious incidents still happen. Passengers board ships expecting safety, relaxation, and unforgettable experiences. But for some families, those trips turn to something far darker, a loved one becoming one of the many missing passengers whose stories remain unsolved. For now, the fate of James Christopher Scavone remains unknown. A man walked out of a nightclub in 1999 and disappeared overnight on cruise ship, leaving behind one of the most haunting missing person case stories connected to life at sea. Somewhere between the crowded dance floor, the silent hallways, and the endless dark ocean surrounding the ship, the truth vanished with him.